All right, everybody, I'm back again. This time I want to recap the game that happened last night. Happened at 3 o'clock actually, but since it was the weekend, so I just stayed up. I just stayed up and watched it, and it was my favorite team. My favorite team is Seattle Storm. My favorite player is Bird. Player, and I like everybody on the team. I like Bird. I like Brianna Stewart, Joe Lloyd. In Canada, I just love them. They just they they are not the most perfect team, but they just have this thing about them where they always find ways to win games. Like they have this you cannot beat me mentality. Like even though they might not be the best, but they just always want to win. And I just love that about them. That's kind of like their identity. Anyway, so I always try to watch their games, and like I said, I'll be recapping games from time to time. So seems like a good one to recap. So yesterday's game between Minnesota Lynx and Seattle Storm. I don't really know much about Minnesota. The only thing I know about them is that they used to be very dominant back in the day of Maya Moore, Lindsay Whalen, Simon Augustus, that person was in that, Rebecca Brunson. So there was kind of like a very loaded team back then. So they won 4 championships over the span of 7 years. So yeah, they're good. They're definitely good. But lately, of course, they've been going through some sort of rebuild. I watched them in the World Bowl when they got swept by Seattle Storm last year. I they were all right. I mean, I don't think what they are the championship team. I'm sorry. A lot of people seem to think that they've put together a team that can compete for championships. Well, every time I see them, I've just never been impressed. I mean, they obviously have talent and they have a good coach. I just never really been impressed with them. And so this season they came in as the favorites. I was like, let's see, because I wasn't impressed with the pieces they even took in the off season. But that's another conversation. Back to the game. So the game was nice. It was a good game. Of course, Seattle came out, guns are blazing. They came out strong. All their starters scored a point within the first 5 minutes. To Bird, Brennan Stewart, Joe Lloyd, what's this lady's name? What's her name? Message Russell, the center, which I think she should be more of a center, scored. And Stephen Talbot, which I think is really getting to be a really good player. I was very impressed. I haven't seen her play ever, and she has been really impressing me for Seattle Storm. Could be better, but I think she really fits into the system really well. So they scored, guns are blazing, they never let up, and they just kept coming back. Minnesota had no answer for them. They just could not keep up. I think it was a pace thing because I heard the press conference was about how I mean, Subed is 40-year-old and she was running rings around Crystal Dangerfield and Peter Carlton. They were just intense with the pressure. So the pressure is a little bit when I think Subird the starters went for rest. But I think the good thing that is the coach of Seattle did was that he put in, he still left some starters in, so the game didn't really fall flat. So they were in it, but that allowed the Minnesota Lynx to come back. So it was tied at 29-29 at some point. But immediately the starters came in again, the lead went to 30 at some point in the fourth quarter. Entering the fourth quarter, Seattle had a 30-point lead over Minnesota. Then the weirdest thing I've ever seen happened. For 8 minutes in the fourth quarter, Seattle did not score. They didn't score a point. They did not score a point. If you can see the game start, Minnesota outscored Seattle 22-5. 22-5 in that fourth quarter. I've never seen anything like that. They just were scoreless. And of course, the starters were out of the game. But then the starters for Minnesota were also out. Nasisa Coley was out. not Crystal Dangerfield, Silver Fowles was out. Then of course the starters for Seattle was out. So it was Jordan Canada. Um, then they brought in Kiana Williams. I really don't know why they did that. They brought in Kiana Williams. They brought in Jordan Canada, Kennedy Burke, Easy, and somebody else I can't remember. So they brought them in. Hold on, Easy and Candice Dupree. Let's talk about Candice Dupree. That's a whole other conversation. They brought them in, and Candice Dupree actually really did well this game. I mean, in that second quarter, when Subird starters went out to rest, she actually came in and she really did well. She really tried. I mean, she held her own. She scored a lot of points. I think she had 12 points, yeah, which is really not bad. She did well during the third quarter. She came in at the second quarter. She did really well. She did well. Then next thing you know, the first quarter, the game just disintegrated. Minnesota just kept scoring. Not that they were good, but Seattle just lack the energy. They felt out of sync. It was like you were just watching the all other game. It was kind of like if anybody watched their first meeting when Minnesota and Seattle played, and for the first two quarters, Seattle was playing. I had no idea what they were doing. They were just all over the place. They were in together, shots were not falling, they were allowing Minnesota to have easy looks. So that's exactly kind of like the opposite of what happened there. It was like now it was Seattle that were just all over the place, but that's at the end of the quarter, and Minnesota obviously could not come back from a 30-point deficit. So that's why the game ended up being a 10-point win. It could really easily have been a 30-point win as Seattle kept up the momentum that they started with in the three quarters. But so that was a bit disconcerting because I really have thought about that. I mean, Sue Bird, which is my favorite player, but I mean, you have to admit she's 40. So Sue Bird is 40 and she's still the main point guard for Seattle. What happens if she injures herself? If she maybe anything happens, she retires. Are you telling me that Seattle is going to end up being at the bottom of the table? Because that's what it showed. Jordan Canada just couldn't handle the pressure of that fourth quarter. I feel Jordan Canada is a very good player. She's actually one of my favorite players. She reads the game well. She makes good decisions sometimes, but then there are sometimes that she just all over. It's like I think she prepares. She works better in a system that she knows the players. She knows what to expect from them. So I think the reason why she fell flat in this fourth quarter was because they were new players. She didn't really know what to expect. And I don't think they've even played together from what I can see before, the way that the whole thing turned out. So she wasn't really effective. In fact, she wasn't really effective throughout the whole game. But she's good on defense. I won't lie. She's actually a very good defender. She gets some stops, brings in the intensity, but she had 0 points. I mean, if Subird had 0 points at the Aces meeting, and yeah, you all know how that went down. So Jordan Canada can't have 0 points if she wants to be a point guard. She just has to shoot better. But all in all, apart from that fourth quarter, I think it was a very good showing by Seattle. They still have some work to do, but I think they are definitely getting better. And I think they are something special this season. I really think so. I think they really are something special. They just need to work on their bench. But the thing about the bench is that when they were in with some of the starters, I think when Kennedy Brock was in with Joe Lloyd, it wasn't really bad. She actually did well. So yeah, so they have to work on it. So people that impressed me this game, Joe Lloyd, obviously, even though the points don't show, she had 12 points, but she really did. She did what she was supposed to do. She very, very strong on the defensive, and Bernard Stewart, of course, Bernard Stewart. 8 rebounds, 15. She had some steals, she had some blocks. I mean, always something. Everybody, even though the points don't show, everybody really brought it. I think it was a very balanced attack, and I enjoyed they came in with the pressure, really, really pressured. Apart from the first quarter, let's erase the first quarter of our memory. So yeah, so they did well. I was alright with them. I like to, I think I don't think Lynx were a good competition. I would like to see them against like a Liberty, maybe an Atlanta. Yeah, that would be nice. I would like to see that. So that's when I'll really know that okay, yeah, they're a good team. I think they're a good team. So let's see how it goes. So for the Lynx, I was impressed. I was impressed. For a team that people thought were maybe not like championship contenders, but like fringe championship contenders. You know what I mean? Like, oh, they can just sneak in. This is not a team that will sneak into the playoffs. Nope. This is a team that will probably not make the playoffs because I think she Traore for all our coach of the year and things. I think she really made some really bad decisions this offseason. She could have gotten some better players with what she had. I don't think Kayla McBride is a good player. I'm sorry. She has never impressed me. Every time I see her, she has just never ever impressed me. She won EuroLeague MVP, but it's EuroLeague. She probably didn't even do well. I wasn't impressed. I've never been impressed with Kayla McBride. Nafsa Kole is the truth. She's a good player. I give it to her. She's good. So I think they should have done something. They should have done a better pickup in the offseason. Why didn't anybody, apart from New York Liberty, Benai Janelli would have actually been a perfect fit for the Lynx as they picked out in free agency. But hey, she went to New York Liberty. Natalia Chanwa, I have no idea who she is. Very, very forgettable. Bridget Carlton is actually a really good player. I give it to her. She's really good. So I think she made some bad decisions this offseason. Getting Natalia Chanwa, not a good idea. Getting Kayla McBride, definitely not a good idea. Era Powers. I haven't seen Era Powers play, so I can't really know much about her, but she's out of for the season, so that's another bummer. So Minnesota Lynx, I don't see them. They were saying, oh, when Nafisa comes in, when Nafisa comes, she's here, and you guys still didn't show up. So I mean, there's just no energy. There's just something about the team that just doesn't click. But like they said they will get it together, and I pray they do. So that's my thoughts for the game. That's my thoughts for the game. It was a good game to watch. Got very funny at the end. I didn't like the end at all. I think everybody should have done better. I Seattle bench. At one point, they showed Coach Yuji's face, and it was like I was astounded. Like, how the hell did you guys lose a 30-point lead? Yeah. So that's it. So like I said, I'll try and watch some games. There was Aces Indiana Fever going on. That was funny. The Aces dismantled. I don't even know what word I can use. They disemboweled. They castrated. I don't even know. They gutted. They went to town on the Indiana Fever. I mean, come on. Those guys should really get their stuff together. So that's it. So my next game, I have no idea what that will be, but I'll try and recap it. All right. Any other thoughts? Hot takes. Minnesota Lynx are not making the playoffs this year. I don't care what anybody says. They are not making the playoffs this year. They are better teams than them. 100%. Teams not making the playoffs. Indiana Fever, Minnesota Lynx, Dallas Springs, they would try to make it, but they wouldn't. Like they'll be on the fringe of making it, but they wouldn't. And Ellis Sparks. Someone that might make it a wild card, Washington State. They might or might not make it. So those five, I don't see them making the playoffs this year. But I could be wrong, or I could be right. I would like to see what that is. All right, thanks for whoever's listening. I don't know if anybody is, but if you are listening, thanks for listening to my rants, and hope to see you next time. Thank you.